Hello, today we will recap an exciting thriller movie, The Good Liar, that will keep you on the edge of your seat. In a world of deceit and manipulation, where appearances can be deceiving, The Good Liar takes you on a thrilling journey that will challenge your perception of trust. Spoilers ahead, watch out and enjoy. Time is 2009, and we see an elderly man residing in London. He decides to explore a dating website in hopes of meeting a woman. Eventually, he starts conversing with a lady online, and they agree to have dinner together. During their dinner, the lady shares that her husband and son have passed away, leaving her with her grandson as the only family member, and he is living with her. The old man reveals that he also has a son, but clarifies that his son no longer lives with him. He confesses that he provided a fake name, claiming to be Brian, on the dating website. In reality, his true name is Roy. Upon hearing this, the lady reveals that she also used a false name on the website, and her actual name is Betty. Both of them share a hearty laughter upon discovering each other's truth. They develop a strong friendship during their encounter. After the meeting, we see Roy heading to a club where his friend Vincent is already seated with two other people. Roy enthusiastically shares a business plan with them, promising to double their money. Roy informs them that he knows a businessman willing to invest £800,000 in their scheme. He proposes that if the four of them collectively invest £200,000, their money will be doubled. Impressed by Roy's words, both Vincent and the two men agree to participate. Roy then transforms his house into an office where they gather. Two Russians are also there, expressing their intention to invest £800,000. They inquire about the timeline for receiving their profits. Roy assures them that once the money is invested in the property, they will receive their profit within a week. Curious about the commission they would need to pay their president, the two investors ask the Russians. However, the Russians react negatively to this question and decide to leave. Roy informs them that they will need to convince the Russians once again. After the meeting, Roy goes to meet Betty. He deliberately walks with a stick, pretending to have knee pain. Betty mentions that she recently bought a new car and offers to give Roy a ride. They go to Betty's house together. Betty prepares dinner for Roy, and they have a pleasant conversation while enjoying their meal. Later, Betty's grandson Stephen arrives at the house and shows displeasure upon seeing Roy. After dinner, both of them go to drop Roy at his house. Betty discovers that Roy lives on the top floor and suggests that he stay at her house, so he doesn't have to climb the stairs. Roy agrees and brings his belongings to Betty's house. The next morning, while Roy is drinking coffee, he notices an unknown man in a car watching him. Roy informs Stephen that he needs to leave for some urgent work. They drive to the hospital so Roy can visit a friend, but he doesn't go in. Instead, he walks to his office. The two investors who were previously hesitant now admit their mistake and proceed to transfer their funds to a joint account. They suddenly hear sirens down the street. Roy rushes to the window, and there is a police car. After this, investor Brian with his partner starts running away. They see that Roy has a heart attack, but they escape through the back door. After their escape, we see all of them get normal. Roy faked a heart attack. In fact, it was a plan of him to scam them. Now after a few days, it is shown that Roy and his partner Vincent go to a shop where the owner of the shop is the same Russian man. Actually, now he is asking for more money. That's why Roy calls two of his men who injure his hand. Roy goes to Betty's house with his partner Vincent. And when Betty arrives there, he tells her that Vincent is his investor planner. Betty is shocked to find out that Roy wants to leave something for her. Betty says that you should not do this, you should leave everything for your son. But Roy doesn't want to leave anything for his son. Vincent starts talking to Betty about investment, and they come to know that Betty has her retirement fund savings and the house, her assets worth $2 million. After this, he tells Betty, "Why don't you invest all this money?" He tries to convince Betty to open a joint account with Roy. Betty says that she needs some time to take such a big decision, and she leaves. The next morning, Betty, Roy, and Vincent are sitting outside, and they are discussing that Roy made a profit of £20,000 on the money he invested. Stephen shows up and is suspicious about what's going on. He tells his grandmother that the last time we brought Roy here, he was not even able to walk properly. And now he's all right. Vincent leaves, and Betty feels bad about Stephen's behavior. A few days later, Roy tells Betty that he thinks he should give £10,000 to Stephen, out of the £20,000 profit he made. And with the remaining £10,000 we go on a trip. Betty likes the idea and she tells Roy that she wants to go to Berlin. Although initially he is reluctant to go, he later agrees. The next day, when Roy is walking with Betty outside, he sees that he is being followed by Brian. He agrees to meet Betty in an hour at a restaurant. He goes to the underground tube and Brian follows him. Brian confronts him because he has figured out the scheme. Roy sees that the train is coming from behind, and he pushes Brian in front of the train and leaves. After this, both of them reach Berlin. Stephen also comes there. Roy is surprised to see Stephen. Betty says that he knows this place very well, and that he can help us to explore the city. Now Stephen takes both of them to a hotel, which is a very old building, and Roy is horrified to see that building. It seems as if he already knows the place. Stephen tells them that Roy has been here before. He says that he searched Roy's record and discovered his past. Then Roy tells both of them that he used to work in the British Army. He came here after 3 years after the World War. He didn't know Russian, so he hired a Russian soldier who used to work for the Russian army. His name was Hans. He started working for him, and one day, they came to know that there is a Nazi soldier hiding in a building. They arrived there to catch him, but he already knew about their arrival. They had a fight and Hans was killed by the occupant. Stephen says it was not like that. In fact, the man who had fired the bullet was caught, and he gave a statement that the man who was killed was a British soldier. Then Roy tells the whole truth. He says that this is true. That day that British soldier was killed and I was lucky. His face was completely disfigured. That's why I decided to adopt his identity, and that day I became Roy. I was very good in English, and no one doubted me. I came to London and started living like an Englishman. After hearing all these things, Betty tells her grandson to keep quiet and leave them alone. Roy gets upset after this, and Betty tells him that, I have full faith in you. Whenever I am with you, I feel happy. Now we should go back to London, and there you can call Vincent. I have decided that both of us will transfer all our money to a joint account, as Vincent told us. After some days, Vincent comes to their house and helps them to sign the joint account papers. He also gives them keypads, from which they can transfer their money. After the whole procedure and transfer are completed, Roy gets a call from Vincent, but doesn't pick up. He says that my son wants to meet me in London, but I do not want to meet him. Betty forces him and advises him to meet his son. Roy packs his things, but tells Betty that it is just an overnight bag. He has also kept the keypad in the bag. The two then go to the railway station, where Betty sees him off. Roy gets drunk in a mostly empty apartment. He looks in his bag for his keypad but can't find it. This surprises him a lot, so he calls the bank. The online customer service can't help him, and he feels very upset. It's late at night, so Roy has no choice but to go back to Betty's house. When he goes inside the house, he sees that the house is completely empty. There is no furniture. Betty is sitting on the chair in front of him, and she has a keypad in her hand. Betty tells Roy that I have logged into our joint account, and with each of your lies, I will transfer £50,000 to my personal account. He keeps on lying, and she transfers $200,000 out in less than 1 minute. After completely giving up, Roy asks Betty, "Who are you?" Betty says to look at the painting on the wall, which is a painting of a lily flower. In a flashback, we see Betty as a young girl in Berlin. Her real name was Lily. Roy used to teach English to Lily. After some days, Lily fell in love with him. One day, while he is waiting for Lily, he notices the sound of music coming from a room. When he goes inside, he sees 3 beautiful sisters of Lily, who are doing dance practice. One of them asks him to dance with her. While dancing, he misbehaves with her, after which she pushes him and asks him to leave. After this, he comes to the room where Lily is. In anger, he tries to force himself on Lily to avenge his insult. When he goes downstairs, he sees the 3 sisters standing there with their father. Actually, they told everything about him. After this, Lily's father throws Hans out of his house by insulting him. Haynes retaliates by defaming them for their association with British soldiers. Lily's family gets destroyed after the incident. Lily tells him that after my father's death, my mom also took her own life. After the World War, all 3 of my sisters were killed in a blast. After hearing all this, Roy confesses everything and tries to apologize. But Lily, aka Betty, says that now she has complete proof of his crime. Betty reveals that Stephen is not her actual grandson. He is in fact a skilled detective, who has thoroughly investigated Roy's criminal background. She informs Roy that Vincent has also joined us. She gives him the keypad and starts leaving. Now he has only £100,000. Roy gets completely enraged after seeing this. He attacks her, but then Betty calls someone. The next moment, 2 men arrive there, one of whom is Roy's past gang member. The other man is one of the 2 investors, whose money Roy had transferred to his account in the past. Before leaving, Betty tells the investor that there is so much money inside this keypad, you can take it back if you want. Saying this, she leaves, and when she is going away from the house, she hears the screams of Roy, aka Hans. After this, we see Roy is now in a hospital with his whole body paralyzed. Vincent comes there to meet him, which makes Roy very angry, but he can't do anything. And at the end of this movie, we see Lily, aka Betty, is very happy with her family. Thank you for joining us on this captivating journey through The Good Liar. Make sure to watch this thrilling and emotionally charged film that will keep you guessing until the very end. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more movie recaps. Stay tuned for our next cinematic adventure.